Bali is notorious for being full of Westerners preaching New Age spirituality, coming to find themselves and doing their inner work. The island itself has a very spiritual tradition with the indigenous people here. It's a form of Hinduism mixed in with their own belief systems that seem to be centered primarily around spirits, and it's very, very present. It's everywhere. It's a huge part of their culture. But I thought I'd speak today more about the Western side of things and my experience of it so far, because although Bali is particularly heavy for this stuff, one thing I've noticed over the last couple of years or so, being around a lot of high performing people and modern day internet entrepreneurs, is spirituality and religion seems to be a big thing for a lot of them. And I'll look at this also from the point of view of the data. There's quite a bit of research that shows that religious people tend to be happier, they have lower rates of depression, they're more likely to be involved with their communities. And I'm not sure off the top of my head about the success rates, but it does seem like there are a lot of very successful people who religion plays a very big role in it, particularly if you look at countries like America, where you've got that fusion of Christianity and capitalism, the American form of Christianity. But I'm going to talk about it in terms of the pros and the cons of what I see with it as well, because sometimes it can be quite jarring. There's a lot of commercial spirituality here and this sort of new age pseudo-spiritual titillation where people are essentially trying to one-up each other in terms of how spiritual are. They just like to add the labels to themselves of being a spiritual person, and it's often pretty repetitive, the stuff that they're telling you. There's nothing particularly unique about it. You'll see people talking about practicing affirmations and manifesting, laws of attraction. Generally, this is where it stems from, this kind of stuff, having an abundance mindset when it comes to money, and in particular talking about surrendering to the universe and the universe giving you what you want. And there's times where you want to get some useful business feedback from people and they're going to give you a spiritual answer. Now, it doesn't mean that spirituality isn't useful. I just think that if you're the kind of person like myself who is heavily logical in the way that I process things, you know, some people are much more feeling, others are more logic dominant, and for me there's always this skepticism and suspicion of a lot of people when they immediately come into things from a spiritual point of view. Granted, there are plenty of people who have a faith-based level of belief in the scientific methods too. I'm not one of these atheist types like Richard Dawkins who believes that everything is pure science, right? But there are times when you want to talk about business related things and the answer that you get is normally something a bit more feminine and introspective and what some people might see as woo-woo, and it's like, okay, I actually just want to have something more tangible here. But it's an interesting one to navigate because it helps you to approach business from various lenses if you are able to combine the logical and the faith and the spiritual based way of looking at things. It rounds you in your perspective, and there are certain things, for example, like whether you're looking at things creatively, whether you're actually looking at things in terms of an alignment of what you're doing. So is the work that you're doing actually in line with the bigger picture vision that you have of your life in terms of what you want to feel, and is there a sense of greater purpose driving what you're doing? And I have this in my own community with the inner circle, with the guys I've got in there who are all building out personal brands and businesses. If you're interested in that, by the way, feel free to book in a call with me using the link below. But these guys in there, they all have a sense of greater being, but it isn't necessarily this kind of new age spirituality which everybody in Bali seems to be pushing. Some of them, they are more prone to it. I'm open to people having different belief systems, but the guys in there, they've got a variety of approaches with the way that they're looking at things. But it seems like in Bali there's very much this kind of group think with the way that everyone's doing it, and it's like you're either spiritual or you're not. Most of the time these people haven't really delved into it too much. They're just regurgitating shit that they've heard from the people around them, which again maybe is no different. If you're a religious person, you're just regurgitating whatever the priest has told you, or the imam, or whoever it may be. But there are times when I'm out here in Bali and it's a little bit tedious trying to understand, and it just seems like this big air of pretentiousness that comes with it. But this is all I'm going to say in this video, in this vlog. It's a really short one. I was meant to have better audio today with this, but one thing I'll recommend, right, with the DJI 2, really good microphone. However, I find that the power button on the receiver, it's not always the most reliable, right? It's one of those things that you'd expect Rory Sutherland to talk about, with this kind of minor detail you've got in there. You press the power button and it doesn't turn off sometimes. So I often get this thing where my receiver has stayed on when I thought I've turned it off, and then the microphone itself is full battery, and then I get out here and it's windy and I need the fucking wind block to block it off, and it doesn't work. So yeah, if you're going to get the DJI 2, be careful, be cautious of that dodgy power button. But yeah, that's the vlog over. I'll see you in the next video.